Hello guys, all of you know that Light Chaser is a top weapon, but not all of you have it. So guys, in this video I will try all weapons besides Light Chaser to find out which of them is the best, and at the end of this video I will make that weapon epic. And guys, to make a fair comparison, I will use excellent weapons level 50 and I will place the same chapter 25 in trials, which I haven't passed. This attack will be enough to pass it. So, the first weapon is Kunai, which many will like because its damage is 30% higher and you start off with Kunai level 2. At the beginning, it's very powerful weapon because you don't need to stand near enemies to kill them, like in case with baseball bat, and you don't need to aim, like with shotgun. Just walk and try to gain more skills. Every star will increase damage and add +1 Kunai. Here you can see how it deals with mobs when you have it less than 5 stars. Okay guys, now it's time to see how good it is against bosses. As you can see, you don't need to aim or stand close to the boss, just avoid its projectiles, and that's all. So, the first 5 minutes and the first boss is very easy with Kunai, but we want to pass this trial, so let's see if Kunai will be so good next 5 minutes and against second boss. Now we have 10 key enemies and Kunai is 5 stars. As you can see, Kunai is really bad here. I must run away from them to survive. What I hate about this weapon is that its supply skill is Ninja Scroll. It increases experience on up to 40%, but you see, to have it 5 stars you will need to choose this skill 5 times. And the problem is, you can choose more useful skills which increase your attack or weapon size. Okay guys, maybe Shuriken will be much better than Kunai 5 stars. And let's see how good it is against second boss. By the way guys, if you like this video and want more videos about equipments, which of them is better, what disadvantages and advantages they have, just like this video and don't forget to subscribe. You can see that Shuriken is very powerful against bosses. With good skills like Quantables, you will easily kill a boss, but to pass a hard chapter, it's not enough as you know. We still have the last 5 minutes, which are the hardest, so let's try to survive them and kill the final boss. Here we have fast enemies with a good amount of health, and as you can see, Shuriken is very bad here. Even with skills like Quantables and dumbbells, I must run to survive. But unfortunately there are too many of them. So guys, Kunai or Shuriken is very powerful weapon against bosses, but if you have problems with mobs, especially tough mobs, I don't recommend this weapon if you want to pass a hard chapter with low stats. Okay, it was a ranged weapon, maybe a melee weapon will be much better. So at first, I will try Katana. Katana hits front enemies and from behind. You don't need to be worried about your back, and moreover it releases key blasts. So it's like a melee and range weapon 2 in 1 weapon. As you can see, at the beginning it's a good weapon. I easily kill many enemies, so I'm just trying to kill as many as I can to gain more skills in the first 5 minutes, which is very important because better skills will help me later with tough enemies. Now let's see how good it is against the first boss. It looks like I'm easily dealing with it, but the problem, I must stand near the boss, so there's a high chance to be killed. Those blasts are doing very little damage, and I must say that Katana against bosses is a very bad weapon, so we'll need powerful range skills like Power Cell. In the first 5 minutes we have fast and tough enemies. With fast enemies like dogs I don't have any problems, but with pigs I have some problems. Damage is good, but it's not enough to kill them in 1 or 2 hits. Later I can have big problems. Anyway, let's see how Demon Blade is good against second boss and in the last 5 minutes. Damage is higher now, but the problem is the same, you need to stand close to the boss. Actually, here I don't see a big problem. We have Whistle Arrow, Power Cell, which will help you to deal with bosses, and it's really doing good damage, just keep your distance. Yeah, it will take you some time to beat the second boss if you won't have Power Cell or Quantables. So, against bosses it's not a good weapon actually, and again, I don't like its supply skill, it reduces damage, but I'd better do higher damage. So guys, will this damage be enough to pass this trial? Last 5 minutes, here we go. Unfortunately guys, it's not doing enough damage as you can see, I just need to run away from enemies, and you know what happens when you cannot make a fast retreat. If Shuriken was powerful against bosses, Demon Blade is not good against bosses and mobs. Yeah, it's doing good damage, but unfortunately it's not enough to pass hard chapters, and it doesn't have a powerful skill which would help to deal with them. If you played for a while Survivorio, then you probably know that Revolver is very bad. And I would say the same 2 weeks ago, but after the last update, it became much better. Now it is much easier to aim at enemies, and as you can see, I'm dealing great with enemies. Okay, now let's see how it deals with bosses. The first boss is fast, but when he stands still, I can aim at him. As you can see, Revolver is doing very high damage, so it's not that bad as it used to be. As you remember, Shuriken and Demon Blade couldn't easily deal with peaks, so I expected the same from Reaper. But to my surprise, it's doing so powerful damage that any weapon can do. Just look at this number, guys. If you remember, my attack is only 3,500 and it's not even crit damage. And what I like about this weapon, its supply skill is Power Bullet, which increases attack on up to 50%. Second 5 minutes are not very hard with this weapon. Now it's time for the second boss. This weapon is very powerful and does the highest damage of all weapons, but it has a very big problem. To do the damage, you need to be very good with aiming. You just need to catch that moment when a boss stands still. Otherwise, it will be very hard for you to beat bosses. So technically, it's a very powerful weapon against bosses, but you must be really good with aiming. If you're not that good, then it is better for you to use Shuriken, I mean only against bosses. Okay guys, the last 5 minutes, which I haven't passed. Just look how it deals with tough enemies. When they surround me, this weapon can make a path for me to retreat, which couldn't do Shuriken and Katana. By the way guys, as you can see, I don't have balls here. If I had them, it would be much easier to survive. Unfortunately guys, they eventually killed me, but there's a new record, 13 minutes. I think if I had quantum balls and dumbbells, I would pass this trial. Anyway, I didn't expect the damage from this weapon. Revolver was supposed to be the worst weapon, but to my and probably your surprise, it's a very powerful weapon. Only thing you need is to be good with aiming. Shotgun is another ranged weapon, but is it better than Revolver? Let's see guys. At first, it is a bad weapon. It's very hard to kill enemies, and if you cannot kill many enemies at the beginning, then you won't get many skills. Just look how many skills I have after 5 minutes. The first boss I killed thanks to skills, not this weapon. But maybe Gatling will be better? It's doing a good damage to enemies. You shoot many bullets, but when enemies surround you, it is not enough to make a path to retreat. So I lost again guys, even with quantum balls. Shotgun has a big disadvantage. At the beginning, if you really want to pass a hard chapter, you need to gain as many skills as you can to do much higher damage. With shotgun, it's impossible. And the last hope is baseball bat. It's a melee weapon which does a good damage at the beginning. As you can see, you need to walk on enemies and hit them on a short distance. It's not actually a big problem, very easy. At 5 stars, your range will be bigger, so you can hit more enemies on a good distance. And it's not that bad against bosses, because when you hit projectiles, it absorbs them. Only if you have big projectiles, it cannot absorb them. As you can see, if you keep your distance, you won't have big problems with some bosses. For the second 5 minutes, we have tough enemies, and I'm doing okay. I kill many of them and can gain more skills. Lucille is just doing better damage and faster. Now I have the second boss, and as you can see, Lucille isn't useful here. So against such bosses, it's a really bad weapon. But let's see if I will be able to survive the last 5 minutes. With baseball bat, it is not very hard to survive against tons of enemies if you have minimum attack for that chapter. If you remember that I told you that this attack is enough to pass chapter 25 in trials. Here you can see how I easily deal with enemies even without quantum balls. Yes, baseball bat is a bad weapon against most bosses, but in most chapters we have problems with mobs, not bosses. And I found a solution for this problem, just choose balls, power cell and whistle arrow, so you won't have problems with bosses anymore. Plus its supply skill is suitable for bricks, so you can choose power bullet, which will increase your attack and all weapons can be evolved to the highest level. Okay guys, let's make a conclusion, in case if you skip some important parts and want to know which weapon is the best for free-to-play players. Kunai is very powerful against bosses, but you will have big problems with big waves of enemies. Katana looks good, looks promising as it's a melee weapon, its key blasts hit enemies on long distance, but damage isn't that good to kill tough mobs or deal with bosses. Revolver to my surprise became much better, it's doing the highest damage and aiming isn't that bad now, really powerful weapon if you're good with aiming. Shotgun isn't good, especially at the beginning, as you cannot kill many enemies in the first 5 minutes, you won't be able to gain many skills. Baseball bat is the best weapon for free-to-play players, because you can survive big waves with very low attack, it absorbs enemies' projectiles, and the most important thing it does, it pushes enemies back, which allows you to survive against tons of enemies. Only disadvantage it has, it is bad against bosses, but you can choose drill shot, lightning emitter and balls, which will help you to deal with bosses. Plus, as its supply skill is suitable for bricks too, you can choose power bullet to increase your attack on up to 50%. So guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe my channel, and you can join my Discord to get more help from me or other players. As I promised you, I will make the best weapon epic. By the way guys, I finally passed chapter 13.